The Canadian Card Collector here, and welcome back to day 407 of a daily deck review. And the deck that we're taking a look at today is the Beetlejuice playing cards from Theory11. So, with no further ado, let's take a look and see what we'll get. So here we have the Beetlejuice playing cards here in that matte finish tuck box. There, it's more of a darker kind of blackish kind of color tuck box there. You got those white stripes there on the side. It says Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice there at the top. Then you got Beetlejuice there in the middle with the two snakes on either side there. One of those little creatures. And then you got the character there and each side there. And it says playing cards, Theory 11. And a disclaimer before we get any farther in this. I have not seen the Beetlejuice movie, so I won't really know any of the characters' names other than obviously Beetlejuice there. But on the front here, it also is in that green and purple kind of colorway. On one side, you got the stripes there. You got the 311 logo, little bug there. And it says Beetlejuice. The other side is the same thing with the 311 logo, the little beetle and Beetlejuice with those stripes. On the bottom, you got the 311 logo, the Warner Brothers logo, and premium playing cards, 311, and a little bit of information here. Yeah. And then on the back, a little sneak peek of that back side. And the tuck box is embossed, so you can feel the texture of the tuck box. For the seal here, it's a pretty almost a circle. It's pretty much a circle seal there, green circle seal with that kind of striped little like snake kind of creature. And this is Beetlejuice. You got the 11 logo, premium playing cards there. And on the top it says the ghost, something the most, because it's slightly hidden there. But now if we crack the cards open, grab our card opener, open that seal. If it'll let us. There we go. A little bit of a more harder seal to open. More of a plasticky kind of seal compared to like the paper seals. And then on the tuck flap here, you got like a green kind of like cloud there. And it says the juice is loose. And then the tuck flaps have a little purple beetle on it. The inner tuck flaps. Take the cards out of the box. Inside of that tuck box has that kind of like Beetlejuice signature stripes there, like the black and white stripes all the way throughout. Definitely a pretty nice interior. Actually, one of my favorite interiors because that actually looks pretty nice there. So, with that being said, now that we took a look at the tuck box, let's take a look at the cards. And always, we'll start with the backside. So here we have what looks like a mirrored backside with the standard border. It's a slightly cream kind of color, so a fully inked back design there. And then for the design here, we got Beetlejuice, like his head there. And then we got that kind of snake, the striped snake kind of creature, doing that little like an oval design. Then you got like the purple little people there in the middle. Then you got some skeletons there off to the side. You got the beetles there in the corners. There, and then you got that purple and kind of green kind of little border going around. And it is mirrored, so you flip it over. Same design in both directions. There. And the colorway is that purple and green colorway with a little bit of that off-white kind of cream color. And for the cards here, first we'll start with the first Joker, and all the backgrounds of the cards look like that kind of off-white kind of cream color. And then for the Joker here, it says Joker, Joker. Then you got that kind of green kind of creature there in the background. Yeah, that green kind of dragon kind of looking creature. There was like the little stripes there, and then the purple little oval around it. And then you got a second identical one, so two identical Jokers. And then we get to the custom Ace of Spades, and this is a really custom Ace of Spades. There's definitely a lot going on. So you got the Ace Spade there in the middle. It's that kind of like hypnotizing, kind of like portal kind of little design. You got the little green border going around it. Then you got like Beetlejuice there in the stripes, and then Beetlejuice there in the purple. You got like the snake there curling around up there. You got the little house there. You got like the skeletons there. And it says Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice there in the corner there. And then you got some more skeletons down at the bottom. You got the hand rising up. And you got Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, and some cobwebs there. So definitely a lot going on there. And then you got the custom suits there for the spades there. And you got the custom pips and numbers there in the corners. And then you got like this. It is like the off-white, but there's a little bit like some kind of like dots kind of scattered around there. And you got like the half and half design for the spades. A little bit hard to see there, but it's like a half black and half like purple colorway there for the spade. If I zoom in, you can kind of see it there. Slightly easier to see in person, but still a little bit hard to see. And that design goes throughout the rest of the spades here. And then some of the cards have a little bit of like a little beetle on it. There. So some of the cards, not all the cards have the little beetle, but some of them do. Then we get to the court cards here, Jack, Queen, and King of spades here. And like I said, I won't really know any of the characters' names, but they're in that green and purple colorway there. I did know, I seen him in a video before. Someone was talking about this character, but I can't remember his name. But you got Beetlejuice there for the King of Spades, though. There. So they're all characters from the movies. Then you got that custom Ace of Diamonds there. It's like a door to like the portal. What's the little portal there? You got the Beatles there. You got Beetlejuice's hand, kind of like drawing that little portal. And then you got the half and half design for the diamonds once again, with the custom suits and pips there. And it's more of like a black or brownish kind of and gray kind of colorway for the diamonds there. And then you got the court cards here, Jack, Queen, and King. 3 more characters here. And you kind of got that like small character head, but it almost kind of looks like a Beetlejuice character, like a Beetlejuice there. And then you got the court cards for the clubs here. Well, I guess these ones were kind of more gray and a red color. And then these are the more green and purple color for the clubs here. And you got Beetlejuice, another style of Beetlejuice there for the king there. That's what it looks like. And then 2 other characters for the queen and the jack. And then for the clubs here, you got that black and gray kind of half and half the colorway there. With the custom club design. And you got that custom ace of clubs there. With that kind of purple and green kind of border going around. You got a little door there with that green kind of little portal. And you got that kind of snake creature kind of twirling around, like wrapping around the club. And lastly, the hearts, Jack, Queen, and King of Hearts. You got 3 more characters here. You got another style of Beetlejuice there. And then you got 2 other characters for the Queen and the Jack. And then you got that half and half colorway design for the hearts there. You got the half and half, like a dark red and a light red there. And then you got that custom ace of hearts. There's that portal design with the heart there in the middle. And then you got like some kind of little hand or creature kind of wrapping around. That's the heart. And the last 2 cards in the deck, you got this little Beetlejuice kind of like, I don't know, like ad card. Well, it is an ad card, but almost like an advertisement. There. And there's the background on the back. And then you got the Beetlejuice ad card here. This is the actual like, ad card here for the playing cards here. And now that we look at the cards. So for the handling, they're just that air because they're finished firmly nicely. So we all know that they'll handle pretty nicely. So for the springs, here they seem to spring pretty nicely. Definitely a slightly stiffer spring, but still pretty smooth. You just have to slightly put a little bit more pressure into your springs. But overall, still super smooth. They fan fantastic. And you can definitely see that more off-white kind of colorway when I fan them there. But super smooth still. And they ferrule pretty nicely. And you're going to get a pretty nice giant fan there. And as always, they'll pack it up pretty nicely. Because they're just the standard poker size. But they actually look pretty nice. Packet cutting with that nice bright green and purple colorway. Looks fantastic. So overall, they handle fantastic. No issues with the handling whatsoever. As always, because Theory11 is going to always have a fantastic handling decks there. And they always look fantastic as well. So it's a double win there. And I almost just had to play 52 card pickup there because they are a little bit slick straight out of the box, as always. But a little recap, they look fantastic, even though I have not seen the movie, so I'm going to have to see the movie now that I reviewed these. But it looks fantastic. Love that green and purple colorway. And then you got the fully custom suits there. And the fully custom court cards, if we can find one there, with all the different characters from the movies there. I don't know too much about the movie, but they still look fantastic there. All the different characters there. They skipped no detail, and especially that ace of spades, wherever that is. This ace of spades right here. This is the most detailed ace of spades I've seen on a card, like, in a while. Yeah, this one, because they used the entire card for this. Usually it's just like the spade there in the middle with a little bit of detail, but this whole card is fully detailed, which I really like. And all the rest of the aces were also custom there. So you got 4 fully custom aces, which I really like when they do that. But I guess, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed. And this has been day 507 of a daily deck review. And this has been the Beetlejuice playing cards there from Theory11. And I'm the Canadian Card Collector signing out. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed. That's the video. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye. And I just realized that I said Beetlejuice more than 3 times. So, I pretty much summoned them. But, anyways, bye.